Welcome back to Shots of the Week number 2, and we took a look at the best places to take a dump. Logan Paul confronts a woman about men over money, and last but definitely not least, Christian dating apps. Yeah, we'll leave that one there. And to be fair, on a range of these, me and Dan had completely different takes and disagreed on a few, so let's take a little look.
Christian dating apps, yes or no, and why?
No, absolutely not. That's bad.
Yes.
No.
I'm neither yes or no.
Oh, no. I met my boyfriend on a dating app, so yes.
Come on.
I have good intentions. I
say
say
Oh, no, big no.
no. Some people won't know anyone. You meet new Christians. Get the confidence up by going on first dates, so it doesn't have to go anywhere.
No. I feel like it's not a very natural way to meet someone.
On a dating app, you can see looks first and go for that. Whereas I think if you get to know someone and their personality through meeting them in person, it's a bit more special.
Yes for some people, no, not for me.
What do you think, mate?
Dating apps. Oh, specifically Christian dating apps. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, no,
I
I
don't,
think
I
that's
don't see
it.
why. Like if I was single, would I go on it? I wouldn't, personally. I wouldn't go on it personally, but I don't see a problem with it.
No, neither.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, nothing's going to beat meeting someone in person.
But then you go on the app
But-
to meet someone in person.
True.
And also, it's like people who, with all due respect, who are like, you're just looking at looks first. It's like, duh.
Yeah,
You would if you met someone in person.
it's true.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a big factor.
It is a big factor. Like, would you say that, like, you could end up being with someone who, at first, you're just mates, and then you started to, like...
Yeah,
Yeah.
you hear that happen quite a lot.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I could see that.
But yeah, most of the time, I'd say, like, looks is, like, the thing that gets things...
The initiator.
Yeah.
It's the initiator.
Yeah. But no, I think they're good dating apps. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
what this
don't
guy's
see
on
that.
about at the start.
Yeah.
Should we watch it? Yeah, beef us in the comments, bro.
No, absolutely not.
No, he said his
That's
point.
bad.
Though.
Absolutely not. That's...
Yeah, his point was that I get his point.
Yeah.
He's like, you're looking to look straight away, which is fair enough. Like, I get his point, which is why no. But at
Yeah.
the same time, it's like you do that. My point is you do that in person anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like you would anyway.
Yeah, I feel like we're all like agreeing with each other. I don't see like why there's nothing wrong with them. Do you know what I mean?
The people on them might be wrong. That's the thing. That's it. Some people might be
Yeah.
wilding out.
What about Christians using Tinder? Or like
Flirt to convert.
apps?
Come on.
Do you
Why
think
not?
that works?
No. I mean, yeah, I
So
do.
you don't think it
No,
works?
wait.
Wait,
No,
wait.
I thought you meant do people on the app. Like,
No. So I
Alright,
asked you, right?
alright,
I asked,
good.
I asked Nathan, do you think Tinder works? And you then say flirt to convert. And then now you're saying that it doesn't work.
No, I think it does. But yeah, got to be very specific people.
I'd
Like,
say
personality type has to be like.
if you look at a relationship, right?
I wouldn't go into a relationship, but if you're like a strong Christian,
Mm.
I wouldn't enter, like, maybe tinker. And like, but you need to have that conversation with someone.
Yeah.
Like, we can't go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I'd say if you want to go into like more of a serious relationship, then you have to look at 3 things, like where you live if you're close, then you have to look at like your values you have together, and then like what you have like ambitions in life, like kids or like that sort of stuff.
go on, Dan. With
But like,
the
mate,
dating
the
advice.
second one about values, bro.
Oh yeah, that's the biggest one.
If you're going on Tinder, you're gonna have people with slightly different values. Where if you go on a Christian app, more likely they're gonna have more similar values. So
Yeah, I
if
get
you're
what you
going for like
mean,
more
get
of a
what you mean.
serious relationship, then it's probably like gonna waste your time if you're going on Tinder. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably some good people on Tinder, though.
Yeah, for
Not
sure.
all wild.
Yeah, sure.
And I
But-
bet there's some bad people on a Christian dating app.
Yeah.
Did I send you this?
Mhm.
Which one you picking? Come on. That one. I'm picking that one and having like one of the boys
Right.
there.
Oh,
Having
why
that
is it
combo.
like there's these amazing places, right? And all my eyes looking at is just the toilets.
Yeah, because Imagine skip to that. Where's that one with the swing? Like the swing one, not that one. When you, boom! Imagine sitting down there.
Now that one's
Just-
boring because like
No,
if
but
you think the
you've
view's
got-
behind
you've got
you.
someone with you though.
Yeah, but the view's behind you. You're not looking at it.
Yeah, but you
Think about it, bro. Think
Imagine
about it.
swinging and just taking a dump. Like you just swinging, chatting to the boy. Like
Okay, that's gonna slide down that hill, man. All over
yeah,
the
true.
shot.
There's no pipe work. He's going. Yeah,
With this one here, bro.
that one scares me.
Do you ever have you ever had this thing where if you look at flowing water, it makes you like, want to go?
Sometimes
heard
only
about
if I kind of will need to go anyway.
Yeah,
But if it's just there, then nah.
yeah. Have you got any mates that like can't like we in public at all?
No.
Nah, I've got one that like he has to go in like the cubicles, like can't go in urinals.
I got stage fright.
Yeah,
So I'm a bit like that. Like
Oh.
if the cubicle's free, I'll go there.
yeah.
If not, I'll just go to urinal.
Fair enough.
I like my privacy.
Fair enough. Each their own, man.
Like I said,
This one,
shout out all my growers.
that's too cold. Oh,
Yeah, that's too cold. That's too cold.
I'm not going in that.
That could be cool, but
The thing is, how are you
imagine
getting
the
there?
breeze. Imagine the breeze up there, like the wind. If you get a wind up there, it looks a bit crispy, doesn't it?
Yeah, but like, I know I'm going like way too deep into this, but like, where's it going? Is it just gonna sit in there? Do you know what I mean? Like, where's
goes into the cliff? So
the cliff? But how are you even getting in there? This must be like AI, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'd assume. You can get a ladder and then jump off and go for a dive.
Yeah.
You don't need a wipe then. You just need
Yeah,
a
you
water.
know what? I'm gonna ask my like engineer mate, like constructor, builder mate, and ask him how you do this. Another one.
Don't hate us this time for shouting
Yeah.
out a song. But that one definitely doesn't make sense. Well, it does, but it doesn't. No, we understand the metaphor. It's the Holy Spirit, but burn forever. Do you know where you're gonna burn forever?
Don't come at us.
How old are the kids?
18. They're transgender.
They're trans? You have a trans child? Fuck. Now, boy or girl?
This one's 5
Now a
minutes.
girl. Nice.
Okay.
Can I ask her name?
Well, it's 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
Can I
I
ask
didn't
the
realise it
dead
was that
name? Dylan. Amy's better. That's on you. That's on you a little bit. Where are you from? Wales. Oh. Just be thankful she's not a sheep now.
Is it that got the biggest shout? The sheep quote.
I feel like anything like that, those jokes are always going to be funny, like the sheep.
classics.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's a bit boring, isn't it?
it
It's like
is.
saying English people all sit and drink tea. It's like them kind of things.
Yeah, I find it a little bit boring, to be fair.
Yeah. And you're
It's
supposed to be a
old.
comedian.
You gotta
I'm
come
sure
up with
she's
new
a
jokes.
bad bitch.
that was very good. That was good. That was good.
But off the cuff, that's pretty good, to be fair.
Bro, I can't believe y'all just talk about another country like that. Like, I would start a war. Has she been to a comedy show before? No. Do you think she would enjoy this one? No. No. This is the great thing about live comedy. It's not the internet. You come, you kind of know what you're fucking getting. It's just a joke. Nobody should be taking shit too seriously. Start to loosen up a little bit. Or maybe that's the doctor's job. I don't know. That was the line? We're like 8 jokes deep. Stupid. Unbelievable. Ask what? You explain. Oh, first of all, am I
I don't know if I got this far, to be fair. So
No.
this is all rogue.
getting heckled by a bitch in a wheelchair right now? Oh. All right. This ain't gonna be no walk in the park.
We can go on the next one. This is too long.
Nah. Do you watch much stand up?
Yeah.
You do.
Well,
What
not
do you
much.
normally watch?
I'll watch him.
Who is he?
It's called Matt Rife.
Okay.
He's got like 2 Netflix. and I watch them. Yeah, I watch like Michael McIntyre's always good.
Yeah.
Like just when there's no on, it's quite fun.
I don't really find this guy that funny. I don't know. I don't find him that funny.
We'll skip. That's fine.
I'm just being honest.
Skip. I don't want to waste time. Fine, then. No, why are you placing play now? We're moving on. No, we're moving on.
I want to see what else he's got to say. But
It's all the same.
Okay.
If you don't think he's funny, then
no, I don't. It's not that I don't find him funny. In general,
find
I
the
don't really watch
jokes
stand up.
annoying.
I watch like podcasts, maybe like comedians on them.
you need to get into stand up.
Yeah, but I
Thing
find
is, I don't know if I'd
scripted
go.
stuff.
I don't know if I'd go stand up.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd go and watch it. But you know, when you just right. We're gonna sit and watch Netflix stand up, and trust me, like you'll find it fun.
like I like watching, for example, Joe Rogan podcast, but I don't find his Netflix or stuff funny.
I've not listened to any of his Netflix stuff,
but-
to be fair.
Well, like Andrew Schultz's stand up's all right, but I like forced myself to watch that, and I didn't. It's like same. Like, I don't really like stand up. I feel like the scripted part of it.
His
Not
is
so
more
good.
like crowd stuff though,
Yeah,
so it's a bit different.
There's this kind of narcissistic, self-centered, self-oriented hermeneutic that is being imposed on every biblical text, and out of it is not extracted self-denial or death to self or mind renewal or holiness or love of neighbor and love of God, but into the text it is imposed, and like everything is about me. It's my season and my purpose and my marriage and my day. It's just my. It's like Johnny Gill went to church or something. I don't get it.
Do you think that's a teaching issue?
I think it is. I think a lot of preachers might just be preaching for the applause sometimes, or like things that people want to hear. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm honest.
Do you think it's the main thing? I think it's a youth issue, as in like the youth system in like churches and stuff. Like everything. Try to think of a preach that you heard in youth that wasn't like to do with like your purpose or. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but when it's constant, it's like all of it's like so. Not all of it. A lot of it's like just so shallow because it's like your purpose. It's like your calling. It's like what are you supposed to do? It's like what can God give you? It's like how can God help you and your family? Do you know what I mean?
It's all me, like my goals, my life, like, and it just puts yourself at the center of everything when that's not the place that we're meant to be in. And like when you do that, you become your own God. So I think that's what she's trying to say in this video. But I think she like speaks so eloquently about it. We can rewatch the start if you want.
Nah, to that I want to see what she says.
Yeah.
Like it says more.
And the thing is, we love that kind of teaching because we love ourselves. We've forgotten the reality that we were made for God, that everything exists for God, for His value, for His glory, for His worship. And one of the sneaky pieces of self-love is that we actually love ourselves because we simultaneously hate ourselves. I'll explain. If you know anything about narcissism, at the root of narcissism is what? Shame. So the narcissist creates a false self to overcompensate for the self-loathing that they feel. And that's a part of the problem, is that we have all believed some lie about ourselves, that we're not valuable, that we don't have dignity, and God forbid we've been mistreated or abused, where it has confirmed or compounded the shame that we feel. So we then listen to teachers who will cover us. We listen to teachers who will flatter us because we think if they gas us enough, maybe we'll feel better about ourselves. If they just talk about us enough, maybe we'll feel good enough. So we think that their flattery will restore our dignity instead of going to the text and seeing that if I am made in the image of God, it must mean that I am somebody. But here's the gag. If you don't have a solid theology of the nature of God, then you won't even find value in being made in God's image. I'll explain it again. If you don't have a solid theology.
Bro, she's popping off in this video.
Nah, everything she's saying is like bang on. But I think a lot of it is right because people don't know how to do that. Because a lot of that is like you can't go on a Sunday or go on a Friday or go on a Wednesday or go Bible study, right? And like self-reflect. Or like seek it out, like find it for yourself. Like a lot of that has to be done in your own time between you and God. Because like self-reflection, like or self-evaluation is a lot of that to make sure that you could be like listening to preachers and like taking it all in, but to then
well, we're all self-interested in, like, ultimately, I think anyway that like every human being, most of the time, their natural, like their default is just to care about what's important to them, and through that, whenever they hear stuff, if it's something that makes them feel a certain way, whether that's makes them feel better about themselves or something that rubs them up the wrong way, that's the piece that they're going to take away most of the time. But I think what's happening is that within some services or church settings, I think it's like too much of stuff that makes you feel good, and that's not enough stuff that's like challenging. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Would you agree? Or
I'd agree. Because, like you said, it's crowd. Well, one, it's crowd pleaser, and two, it would probably feel right to say those things. And a lot of the time, those things aren't wrong. Like what they're saying, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's the overindulgence, and it's the, like we said, if there's no self-reflection, it's like you're just pumping yourself up, and it's also, like you said, the challenging. Like no one wants to challenge themselves. No one wants to feel challenged by someone. And a lot of people, pastors, teachers, probably may feel uncomfortable doing that.
Yeah. Or even if, like, I know it's like maybe like a bit controversial to say it, but like if you keep challenging every week, I think it needs to be like a balance sometimes as well.
Yeah,
if it's too much the other side, then it's also unhealthy. But from a pastor's point of view, maybe, like, not that we're pastors or anything, but if I'm just thinking, put myself in their shoes, like if the people start leaving the church, then like obviously the financial side as well to it. Or
yeah, I know what you mean, but then like
that's not what they're in for it in.
And if you're centered on God, there's like pastors are there to point people towards God and lead people towards God. So if they're just centered on walking towards God, although that's difficult, it's, even if people leave the church and like your church decreases, doesn't mean you're doing something wrong.
No.
And if you're fully centered on God with it and look like that, and your perspective and like vision is aligned with God's, and you have people around you to keep you accountable, like good people, then that shouldn't necessarily be an issue. Like you shouldn't see that as an issue. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, well, God will figure it out. If I'm doing what God's, like, in line with God's plan, then like that should be.
Do you know what you just said? Like I like that. I feel like that hits it on the head, because honestly, like the way that I was thinking about it then was how like a pastor, through what they do, can have X or Y impacts on the church, like aka people leaving, but actually it's all in God's hands. But like, often, like when we think of like our day-to-day jobs, when we put something in, we expect something else out of it, or like if we put this much work in, we expect a reward or for something not to happen. Whereas with church and like pastors, like they could do a good job, but then it's ultimately everything's like down to God's plan, and like you said, people could leave or come, and it
doesn't mean really you're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the time it's like, although being a pastor is a job, it's not. Do you know what I mean? It's like a calling, innit? It's like not everyone should be a pastor, and not everyone can be a pastor. It's like some people can be a pastor, but it doesn't mean they should be. Do you know what I mean?
Would you rather marry a guy who is rich, buys you a ton of fancy shit, but cheats on you? Or marry a broke dude who can't buy you shit, but his tongue is called the Finder 4000, and he doesn't cheat?
I'm gonna say the first guy. And here's why.
This is why the red pill community exists.
That's funny. Did you watch it again?
Yeah, go on then.
Would you rather marry a guy who is rich, buys you a ton of fancy shit, but cheats on you? Or marry a broke dude who can't buy you shit, but his tongue is called the Finder 4000, and he doesn't cheat?
I'm gonna say the first guy.
One or two. Gotta be two.
Of course, man. Like, how can you be like with someone you know is constantly going to be cheating on you? Like, I feel like there's no self-worth.
Make your own money.
But honestly though, like, how can you be with someone and know that it's going to be constantly cheating on? I guess it's like an open relationship, ultimately.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. It's a bad question.
It's like sugar daddy.
Both of them aren't great. What is his personality like? You know what I mean? All that kind of thing. Important stuff.
And like ultimately, like if he if there's that sort of relationship, what's like gonna stop the guy going over to someone else?
Yeah,
Like
there's no substance.
There's no
to
commitment to it. Like ultimately.
Do you agree or do you not agree? If
Right.
you like the video, subscribe, comment, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
We'll catch you on
The next video.